Welcome you all, and today we will going to perform an activity from class 9 from chemistry. So let's begin. The aim of the experiment is to prepare a true solution of common salt, sugar and alum, B, a suspension of solid chalk powder and a fine sand in water, C, a colloidal solution of starch in water and egg albumin in water, and to distinguish them on the basis of transparency, filtration, criterion, and stability. So let's begin. The apparatus required to do this experiment is test tubes, china dish, tripod stand, glass rod, 3 funnels, filter paper, small torch, obviously. Chemical required to do this experiment: common salt, sugar crystals, alum powder, chalk powder, garden soil, which is easily available, egg aluminum, fine sand, distilled water, starch. Let's begin with the procedure. To prepare true solution of common salt, sugar and alum is: firstly, take common salt. Take a pinch of common salt in the test tube as you can see in the screen. Pour 10 cc of distilled water in the test tube. Then you can shake the content of the test tube vigorously by placing your thumb on the mouth of the test tube. The common salt dissolved completely to form a true solution. Number A. Now we'll do the experiment with sugar. Take a pinch of sugar crystal in a test tube and pour 10 cc of distilled water in the test tube. Again, shake the content of the test tube vigorously by placing your thumb on the mouth of the test tube. Right? The sugar dissolved completely to form a true solution. Now we have done with common salt and sugar. Now we will do with alum. Take a pinch of alum powder in the test tube. Then again pour 10 cc of distilled water in the test tube. Then again shake the content test tube vigorously by placing your thumb on the mouth of the test tube. As you can see in the screen, the alum dissolved completely to form a true solution. To prepare suspension of soil, chalk powder and a fine sand in water. Let's see how it will happen. Soil. Take a pinch of soil in the test tube. Now pour 10 cc of distilled water in the test tube. Shake the content of the test tube vigorously by placing your thumb on the mouth of the test tube. The top does not dissolve in water but gets suspended in the water, so as to form a suspension. Now we'll do this experiment with chalk powder. Now take a pinch of chalk powder in the test tube. Pour 10 cc of distilled water in the test tube. Then again shake the content of the test tube vigorously by placing your thumb on the mouth of the test tube. The chalk powder does not dissolve in water but gets suspended in water so as to form a suspension. Fine sand. Now we'll take some fine sand. Take a pinch of sand in the test tube. Pour some distilled water into the test tube. Shake the content of the test tube vigorously by placing your thumb on the mouth of the test tube. The fine sand does not dissolve in water but gets suspended in the water so as to form a suspension. You can get this thing easily. You can do this experiment in your home too. You will enjoy, definitely you will enjoy this experiment. Now we will move to the third one, that is to prepare a colloidal solution of the starch in the water. So for doing this experiment we will take starch, 1 pinch of starch in a china dish as you can see on your screen. Now pour 20 cc of distilled water in the china dish. Now stir the content in the china dish with the glass rod till a milky suspension is formed. Heat about 50 cc of water to boiling point on a Bunsen flame by placing it on the tripod. Stir the content of the china dish continuously and pour it in the boiling water. Allow the content to cool. Right? Now, the product so formed of the colloidal solution of starch in water. Now we'll do this experiment with egg albumin. Now take 1.2 cc of egg albumin in test tube. Now pour 10 cc of distilled water in the test tube. Shake the content test tube vigorously for 1 minute by placing your thumb on the mouth of the test tube. Now placed it in the test tube holder. Now you will notice the albumin gets suspended in water to form a slightly. The product so formed in a colloidal solution of albumin in water. To distinguish between a true solution suspension and colloidal solution on the basis of filtration criterion is set up the apparatus. In case of colloidal solution of egg albumin in water, no sediment is left on the filter paper. Let's see, and the cloudy colloidal egg collect as filter paper. As you can see, no sediment, filter. In case of suspension of chalk in water, the chalk particles are left as sediment on the filter paper and clear water collect as filtrate. Sediment is found, the collected part is called sediment. Now in the case of true solution, no sediment is left on the filter paper and clear solution collected as filtrate. Exactly, there is no residue. To distinguish between true solution suspension and colloidal solution on the basis of stability. Now let's begin. Pour 2 cc of each of the colloidal solution, suspension and true solution in a separate test tube as it visible to your screen, and shake each test tube vigorously and then allow its content to stand for 5 minutes. In case of colloidal solution of egg albumin in water, no sediment settle down and there is no change in its consistency. Number 2. In case of suspension, the sediment of chalk settle down and clear water collects above it. Number 3. In case of true solution, no sediment settle down and the solution remain unclear. Thank you.